Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Coach Sherry, and this is day 78 of going live on the 90-day Go Live Every Day Challenge. And this is not just part of my live playlist, you can also find this on my podcast list. So I have a Real Talk with Coach Sherry podcast, and I'm excited to bring this information to you today. I am going to give you some tips to energize your workspace. I know a lot of times people, they dread going to work, whether they are going to their home office or to an office outside of their home, because the space just is not energizing, is not motivating, is not inspiring them to do their very best. And so they kind of drag their feet, take their time, they don't feel as productive. And, I think I mentioned last week that I moved into a new workspace and I absolutely love it. I loved my previous one too. But I always make my workspaces very energizing and inviting, not just for myself, but for people that come through. I want when people walk across the threshold, I want them to feel welcomed. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to walk away feeling motivated and like they can get some things done too. So I want to share these tips and I hope that you are going to be able to implement them right away. Make subtle changes at first and then gradually, expand on the things you want to change. It may be changing the arrangement of the furniture, maybe having you facing the window or maybe having your back to the window so you can have that light coming to your back, and just different ways of hanging pictures, maybe rearranging the way that the pictures are hung and maybe switching walls, maybe changing the window treatment that you have, and consider opening the blinds if you do have that office. And I know sometimes people say, oh, but the lighting, it just really messes up my screen. And then that's when you have to decide, well, how should I change the arrangement of my desk? Because natural light really helps. I see Jaden Sutt is in the building, and I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. And for those of you that are coming in or who are listening in and can't get to the comment section, I appreciate you for joining. And for those of you watching this on replay, let me know what tips you are going to implement right away, and or what are you currently doing to energize your workspace, because I'm giving these few tips, but there are so many more tips and I would love to learn more about how to energize my space. So a lot of times when I move, be it my office or my home, people are always so shocked at how quickly I'm able to make it lived in, to make it not seem like I'm living amongst boxes or papers. Things are very organized. And I learned a long time ago how to unpack and set and situate my space effectively and efficiently. It was really important, especially moving around, changing teams and such, to have our house feel like a home as soon as possible. When my husband would come home from camp, I always made sure that wherever we lived, it felt like we lived there forever and he could be comfortable and we could be comfortable. And that's how I am even with my workspace. I always want to make sure it's comfortable right away. So last week in my move, the way that I move is as I'm bringing things in, I don't just dump them and fit and say I'm going to figure it all out later. No, as I'm bringing things in, I'm putting them away where I want them to be so that the next wave of items that come through, it's not going to seem like things are just piling up. I'll do the same for that. So, what I'm going to do during this session is show you some pictures of different office and workspaces, and maybe you can get inspired by them. And I wonder if you can find the one that is my actual home office space. I'm curious to see what you think. But I'm just going to show you a series of pictures, and again, I hope that you're able to find some inspiration from the things you see. It may be the flooring, it may be the bookshelves, the desk, the arrangement of the room, whatever it is. I hope you find that inspiration. But I am going to also provide you with tips that you can, again, implement right away. All right, so let's get started. Today is Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend and a great Father's Day. And let's kick this week off, to a great start. I know it's the end of Monday, and some of you may hear some things that you might say, wow, Coach Sherry, I wish I would have known this today because this Monday got off rocky. And maybe if I had that going on in my office or my workspace, my Monday would have been a lot better. But guess what? There's always tomorrow. So let's jump right on in. And let me pull up the first image for you to just kind of look at and ponder. And again, let me know if you can guess which one is my actual home office. All right. So, tips to energize your workspace. Now, it's important to maximize your natural light, and that is by opening your blinds and curtains to let as much sunlight in as possible. Natural light, it really boosts your vitamin D levels and increases your energy and productivity. Now, the office space that I moved from did not have windows, but I did have a huge mural on one of my walls, and it was of the outside of the city actually. And I always would say, "Oh yeah, that's my window," but it wasn't a real one. And now my new office has so many windows that overlooks the city, and there's so much natural light that comes in. I can already feel my energy increasing. Now, I always felt like my energy was really good in my previous office. I kept my lights low. I had some beautiful lamps that I purchased for it, and I liked that dim, kickback, laid back kind of vibe that office gave. But it's important also to have that natural light, and I can already feel the difference, and I know I will see the difference in the things that I'm going to be able to produce. Another thing to do is to add plants. Now, adding plants incorporates some greenery like small potted plants or a living wall. Plants help purify the air, and it provides a refreshing and natural element. And that's another thing, because my previous office didn't have windows, it didn't have the natural lights. My plants didn't survive, so I had to have things like eucalyptus. I had natural real eucalyptus, as well as silk plants. But now I'm excited to be able to bring in green plants to provide that refreshing natural element. And when they say a living wall, you can get beautiful shapes, images, your logo even, and have it with real greenery. Have it made out of real greenery that will last. There's some particular types of moss that you can use, and it's real, but you don't have to water it or anything, and you can use that as a wall mount. And those look dynamic, really beautiful to add. But as you can see, plants really spruce up the area. It brings life. The only thing you have to be mindful of, and this is just in some cases, you have to be mindful of the potential of attracting small bugs. But at the same time, if you have really good air control where it doesn't get humid or too warm, then you will have minimum bug challenges. The next is using energizing colors. So paint an accent wall or add a decor in bright, vibrant shades like yellow, orange, or red, which are known to stimulate energy and creativity. So I always add elements of red. I'm a earth tone colored type of person. So I always have elements of red, of rich dark wood. However, my new desks are more of a cream color, but I still love that touch of red, that touch of green, and even the yellow, adding that, because colors, adding a splash of color is always a good thing as well. I know some people like the muted tones, and they are just like, I just want to have this kind of mute, vibe where everything is kind of monotoned. And that's beautiful. That is. But, sometimes it might be just adding a plant, again, a green plant, or maybe the notebook that you use will have a color to it that can add that pop of color that will help give you that inspiration. All right. So remember, use energizing colors. And again, those colors are vibrant shades like yellow, orange, or red. And an accent wall is always really nice too. If you can paint one of the walls a different shade is really cool. And playing upbeat music, create an energizing playlist of your favorite upbeat tunes, which can improve focus and mood. Now, I'm going to also talk more about music in a little bit of how that can energize your workspace. And I listen to upbeat music sometimes, but I'm going to also share with you the benefits of playing things that are more like a classical sound. Also, set up an active workspace. Use a standing desk or a treadmill desk to allow more movement throughout the day. Even just standing and stretching periodically can re energize you. Now, I know I have an Apple Watch. I don't know if y'all have Apple Watches or a timer or another type of watch that can alert you to stand. And I have my Apple Watch so that it will alert me like it's time to stand or try time to move or do something. And I am fortunate also to have a standing desk so that I can lift it up and stand. Getting up and walking to another room, or not having a huge jug of water, having maybe a 8 to 16 ounce jug of water that will require you to get up and refill it periodically. I don't keep a garbage can anywhere near my office, so this way that gives me another reason to have to stand up and get up to throw it away. Again, as you're looking at these, tell me which one do you think is my office and is my home office. All right. Also, decluttering your space. Remove excess papers, supplies, and knickknacks from your desk and surroundings. A more clean, organized workspace feels more open and refreshing. And that, again, that's why when I move, even my home or my workspace, as I'm bringing things in, I'm also putting them away so that when I'm bringing that last haul in, I know that I could just sit down and begin doing what I need to do. And I'm not surrounded by a ton of things that I have to figure out where do they go. And as you can see, even here, a lot of people, especially if they have a smaller space, they may turn a spare room or a closet into an office. And there's no rule that says you have to keep a door in a doorway type of thing. Especially like a closet, you could take your doors off. I know when my children were younger, and I wanted their rooms, the space in their rooms, to be maximized. And so we got the closet concept, or California closet, to build up their closet as well as our closets too. And they did such a good job with adding the drawers and everything and situating their closets. They looked so beautiful until I took the doors off and put like curtains up where their doors were. And it allowed us not to have dressers also in their bedrooms because it was all built into the closet. But here you can see some people even make their closets into an office space. And this is a really unique way that you can do that as well. I remember when we lived in New Orleans, and I had this, it was a desk, but it was a like a arm, what they call it. It looked like a huge wardrobe. Once it was closed, the desk part folded up, everything folded neatly into it, and we were able to close it, and that we turned that into our second guest bedroom if we needed it. But it was really convenient, and then when I opened it up, everything I needed was right there, and I really enjoyed that concept. All right, you want to also personalize your space with photos, and display some framed photos of loved ones, travel destinations, or other images that inspire positive energy for you. Some people even put, motivating quotes, inspiring quotes into frames, and they'll have those displayed. Vacation spots. I love the ocean on my phone. That's one of my screensavers in addition to my vision board. But having that as your focal point. Every time I'm getting ready to go on vacation, I always pull up my pictures of the ocean, especially of Destin, Florida, and just really enjoy that because it's so beautiful and it puts me in the mindset of something I'm looking forward to. And if I'm trying to, you know, get back my energy and to just step off for a moment, I can dare to dream and just reminisce looking at those images, and that always helps. Also, use aromatherapy and scents like citrus, peppermint, eucalyptus. Those can provide an invigorating aroma boost, not just for the smell of the office when people walk in, but also it heightens your senses when you have those smells coming through. And those really help to keep your muscle memory, your brain cells and everything. It keeps them very active, and it just gives you more clarity and helps you with focus. So the key is to incorporate elements like natural light, greenery, energizing colors, and scents, along with opportunities for movement to create a workspace that feels vibrant and rejuvenating. How are you rejuvenating your workspace? What are you doing to make it more vibrant? How are you boosting that that area so that it can continue to encourage you to come up with great ideas and not just do the status quo? And, color goes into a lot of things, and there's color theory that boosts energy in your office. And I wanted to just touch on that with the color theory. And so it says, again, and I'm just going to reiterate what I said, but I'm going to elaborate on it even that much more. So you want to incorporate vibrant shades. Again, yellow. Yellow is energizing, it's an uplifting color that can spark creativity and increase positivity. Use yellow accents like artwork, pillows, or even a painted accent wall to bring this invigorating hue into your workspace. Now, some people, yellow is a bit much, and they feel like, oh my goodness, that's too bright, is too much. But there's all different shades of yellow, and find the one that does not necessarily irritate you, but find that shade that inspires you. Add pops of orange, and orange combines the energy of red with the cheerfulness of yellow. Yellow, you have to admit, even if it might not be your favorite, yellow is a very cheerful color. And with orange, it evokes feelings of enthusiasm and can increase activity levels. Use orange in moderation through decor items like rugs, chairs, or desk accessories. Orange is definitely that add that pop that will give you that energy, and give you that enthusiasm. I remember in college, I used to always get my nails painted orange, a bright orange, and it just made me smile when I would look at it. There's no way that you can look at a beautiful, vibrant orange and not have a smile on your face. Just think about even eating a sweet orange. It just feels good, and when it's the right shade of orange, you feel like, okay, I'm doing some good things with to my body, for my body. All right. And bright red, use that sparingly. While too much red can be overstimulating, small splashes can increase passion and excitement. Try a red lamp, potted plant, or even red pens when you need a burst of energy. Now, I have my actual in my workspace outside of my home. My office chair is red, and I don't know, I feel very powerful, and I feel competent in that chair, and I feel unique because not a lot of people have a red office chair, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's my pop of color for red. Also, balance all of this with some green accents. Green creates a sense of balance and harmony, incorporating again plants or green artwork to prevent feeling overwhelmed by warm, vibrant tones. And for me, that's what I really love are the warm, vibrant tones in an office because, you know, I love to feel comforted. I love to feel empowered, but warm colors make me feel safe. So that's important to me as well. So, find those color palettes that you feel will work best for you. All right. The key again is to create an energetic yet balanced space by strategically using bright, warm colors like the yellow, the orange, and red while grounding them with some green accents and natural elements. All right. Now, music. I know they said, upbeat music will be good. And I do that sometimes. It depends on what time of day, what day of the week it is, what I have going on. that helps me determine what type of music I'm going to listen to when it's upbeat. Now, typically, I listen to either classical music or gospel music. When I'm feeling like I'm on the verge of something huge, I will play gospel music because I get the messages from the lyrics of the things that I know that God is going to do and is doing in my life. It's more like confirmation when I listen to the gospel music. So for any of you who work near me, with me, or otherwise, when you hear me playing gospel music, know that there's about to be a breakthrough, because that's that music that's telling me yes, it's giving me that encouragement, and it pushes me through. Classical music is when I listen to classical music when I am um, in need of being inspired, when I need to come up with some creative ideas, when I really need to dig deep to come up with some solutions. I listen to classical music. I find that that music puts me in that mindset of deep thought and of solutions. It's more solutions based. Now, when our children were young, up until probably elementary school age, probably about fourth grade or so, when we would put them to bed, when we would take them and put them into bed, we would play classical music all night for them, all night. We would have well, as long as the CD played, let's say. Um, and I think that's why they always woke up very calm. My children were very calm children. Going to bed was never a fight, it was never a fuss, it was never a tug of war. They were good, and they never went to bed dead tired. Their bedtime typically was between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., up through almost middle school, and they got a great night's sleep. Again, they were never dead tired when they went to bed, because we wanted them to be able to put themselves to sleep. There's some people that literally have to rock their kids to sleep, or make their kids dog tired before they can even think about taking them to their rooms. But we never got into the habit of that. And that's a habit that you create when your children have bad bedtime habits, or they have a bad bedtime routine. Those are habits that you developed with them, because as a parent, you know better. They don't. They coming into your world. So however you need your bedtime routine to be set up, you have to be strong and set it up. And if you're with your spouse, with your partner, with the other parent, you have to be on the same page. So it's not one of those well, go to your dad and you can say it with him, or you know just two different types of ways of doing it. And even if you're not with your child's other parent, you still need to be on the same page, so that if they are with them, it's still the same schedule. When they're with you, it's on that schedule, so it would show a sense of consistency. That's really important, to have consistency. So I listen to the instrumental. Okay, so instrumental background music tracks without lyrics can help increase focus and productivity without being too distracting. Look for playlists or albums labeled work music, study music, or concentration music, featuring genres like chill step, down tempo, ambient, or light jazz. Now, on Pandora, and that's what I listen to during the day, Pandora, they have music. It's called study music, and that's what I play, and I absolutely love it. And you might think, oh well, Coach Sherry, this sounds like elevator music. Like, what is this? But when I tell you, some of my best ideas come from when I'm listening to that music. And I've had to be very, very creative in the work that I do outside of course, YouTube, even outside of career coaching. My work regarding workforce development and career readiness, I have to be extremely creative and innovative. I feel like that music has helped me, because when I play it, I my it's like the ideas just continuously flow. And nature sounds are also good. The gentle sounds of nature, like rain, ocean waves, or forest ambiance, can have a calming yet energizing effect in the background while you work. Now, I love the sound of ocean waves. I love the sound of trickling water as well. Um, but when I listen to the ocean, it takes me places. So it makes it challenging for me to just say, yeah, I'm here. I'm here for the long haul. My mind will wander, and I can't really get a lot done, but I do love the sound of the water. I think fountains, if you can find a desktop fountain with some trickling water, I think that really helps as well. They also say video game soundtracks. Many video game scores feature upbeat, motivating melodies, perfect for providing an energetic backdrop to your tasks. Now, I haven't tried video game music. I can't even imagine what that would sound like, but I am curious. I'm going to look into it. If you currently listen to video game soundtracks while you work, let me know. And how is that working for you? Classical music, certain classical pieces like Vivaldi's Four Seasons or Mozart's piano concertos can stimulate brain activity and boost productivity. Again, with classical music, that's something that we always put our children to sleep with. I do listen to it, I play it on my flute. I love classical music. Not everyone likes classical music, but I love it. And actually, the study music, a lot of it is classical music. So beautiful. And let me tell y'all, because the newest season of Bridgerton is now available on Netflix. And I looked at the last episodes this past weekend, but the music in Bridgerton, that series on Netflix, is so dope. I love that music so much. It's like a timeless piece. It's music that I can imagine them playing, but it has a modern twist. So it's some good music. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy the music that you hear on Bridgerton as well. I think that music is so good. All right. So also, curated playlists. Check out pre made playlists on streaming services specifically designed for working, studying, or increasing focus, like the Workspace music playlist on SoundCloud or productive music for work playlist on YouTube. And let me know, have you checked out that playlist or any of those, especially the one on YouTube? I've never checked out the YouTube playlist. Now I create my own music playlists, but they're private on YouTube. I find my favorite songs and whatever genre they're in, I put that playlist. I have an R&B, a slow R&B, I have hip hop, I have gospel, I have reggae, I have a whole bunch of different music genres, and my favorite songs, I just put them in there. And then when I'm walking or working out or just chilling, unwinding from a long day, I'll play one of those playlists. When I'm traveling, typically in my family, whoever is driving, you got the music. And so I'll have my playlist that I'll play. But it sounds like YouTube also creates playlists. So I'll be interested to see who here that's listening in, if you ever utilize that. So, again, the key is finding music that is engaging enough to provide an energizing boost, but not so distracting that it pulls your attention away from your work. Instrumental, ambient, and curated productivity playlists are great options to try. Definitely. And so, again, the genres could be classical music, video game soundtracks, ambient, chill step, nature sounds. Now, on Fridays, believe it or not, I love to play go-go music. I don't know what it is, but it's like it just kind of gets me revved up. And I also love listening to go-go music when I'm doing my weekend review and my planning for the next week. It just kind of takes me there. It makes me feel very encouraged, especially when I'm looking at the things that I had accomplished that week. I'm like, all right, so I'm like jamming with the music as well as jamming with my productivity, and also jamming into what's to come the next week, getting that level of excitement up. That's really helpful. And they say rock music is a popular genre to be played in workplaces, and because it's familiar, high energy rock hits can increase productivity and lower stress levels for many workers. And so they're saying rock, but I'm saying go go or even hip hop. Sometimes I'll play Dougie Fresh, I love Dougie Fresh, all his songs. And I just love hip hop, period. But I play between go go, mostly go go, and then I also play hip hop. Lo-fi beats is also good, and that's the chill, repetitive nature of lo-fi hip hop beats, and that's ideal for stimulating creativity and relaxed focus without being overly distracting. So the key really is to make music conducive to productivity. You don't want to have complex lyrics or moderate tempo from around 50 to 80 beats per minute and a familiar energizing sound. So you just definitely want to consider that. And if you aren't into classical, I'm telling you, you need to really think about it, because classical music improves concentration and focus. It can help synchronize brain waves. It promotes a heightened state of concentration and alertness, which enables better focus and tasks by reducing distractions. So, again, I said we used to always put our children to bed by that. And if you have young children, grandchildren, or no young people, maybe tell them to consider that. There's a lot of great classical music now. I mean, back in my children's day was the CDs, you pop the CD in, but now it's the playlist that you can get on the streaming sites. The lack of lyrics in instrumental classical music prevents it from being too distracting. The steady tempo and harmonious melodies of classical music facilitate achieving a state of flow, intense focus, and immersion in the work. And that's why I know when I listen to classical, the the ideas just continuously flow. All right. It also boosts productivity and cognitive performance. Studies have shown that listening to Mozart's music can temporarily enhance cognitive abilities like concentration, memory, and spatial reasoning. And that's called the Mozart effect. Classical music has been found to increase efficiency, accuracy, and productivity for tasks like writing and radiology. I don't know what radiology has to do with that, but hey, it stimulates the release of dopamines, which activates the brain's reward and pleasure centers, making repetitive tasks more enjoyable. It reduces stress and anxiety. Now I'm talking about classical music. This is how you can energize your workspace, because if you straight in the mind, you're going to be straight everywhere else. So classical music reduces stress and anxiety. The relaxing and calming nature of classical music lowers stress hormones like cortisol, and this helps manage anxiety and creates a positive mindset for working. It lowers stress levels and improves focus and allow honest communication of emotions, which can aid in processing difficult work. And I know, like I said, especially, in the work I do, a lot of it can be challenging. I don't have the blueprint. I'm making the blueprint as I go. And, I have to process a lot of it. I have to figure it out. Like what is the end? I always have to start with the end in mind. And that takes a lot. And so that's why when I'm doing those types of projects, I always listen to classical music. It improves your mood and well-being. Classical music triggers the release of endorphins or happy hormones, boosting mood and emotional well being. It has been shown to relieve feelings of depression, loneliness, and emotional pain. And so a lot of what I do is kind of in my head. I'm now starting to form think tank partners, but before that, I was kind of solo dolo with it, and I had to kind of be almost like a, a island alone, a person on the island by themselves. And that can be kind of lonely, even in the work environment where you don't really have those people you can bounce off ideas. They can give you some suggestions, tell you how to do it better or different, and you have to figure that out for yourself. And that can be lonely. And when you find those kindred spirits or people that are capable, you're like, oh, what's up? Wow, this is so awesome. It just, you just feel like you've met your tribe. And luckily here lately, that's what I have. I have my tribe of great think tank partners and, people that get it and are there to also redirect it when need be. So, now the lack of lyrics, because again, classical doesn't have lyrics, steady tempo and harmonious melodies of classical music enhance focus and cognitive performance while reducing stress, creating digital ideal conditions for productive work. So you want to have that Mozart effect in particular because it's beneficial for concentration and mental tasks. And all of those can help energize your workspace. So I hope that you have gotten some really good tips on how to energize your workspace, be it your furniture, your layout, the colors that you use, and the music that you listen to. And let me see here. Wellness with Frugal Mama. Hello to you. Thank you for jumping into the chat and saying hi. I appreciate you for being here and listening in. So I had shown you all the different offices. Let me know if you think you saw the one that is my actual office. So yeah, I enjoyed even looking up some of these to share with you, and I hope that they are giving you some inspiration and motivation to do something different with your space to make it more energized and to give you that energy that you need and deserve to be your very best every day professionally. And trust me, you'll get up from those spaces feeling like you can still take on the day. Like, oh, the day is over already. I got so much accomplished. That's going to be so important. And listen, we're at a time now where it's requiring all hands on deck. And I also feel like we're at a time where everything is possible because there are so many great opportunities out here and you really need to seize the moment because you just never know what's going to hit really well for you. All right. Well, that's all I have for you today. It's been my pleasure sharing it with you. And I hope you join me again tomorrow for day 79 of going live every day for 90 days. It has been my pleasure. I hope you have a great evening. And remember, and I haven't said this in a while, but it is so important to practice. It's so important to practice where you are. Don't think that when you get where you're going, that you're going to get in that game and win without practicing where you are right now. Sometimes God doesn't bring you those blessings that you've been asking for yet because you haven't been practicing. What are you doing to prove that you are worthy, that you are ready to receive that next move, that next step? So practice every day, practice so hard, practice as if you are playing. And so that when you do get in and you get that ball, you will always shoot and win. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I am Coach Sherry.